What's up? It's me, Devin, aka your favorite urban gardener, aka Plant Vibes, and today I wanted to do a short video on fertilizing your plants, your outdoor plants. So it's a question we get all the time: how much to fertilize, when to fertilize, what plants to fertilize, all these sort of questions. So hopefully I can answer most of your questions, if not all of them, in this short video. If I don't answer a question, please comment in the thread below and I will type out an answer. So right now I have my Roberta's Bounty fertilizer, and this stuff it's great. It has all of the micronutrients and macronutrients that make it pretty much an all-purpose fertilizer for all of your outdoor plants, and I even use it on my indoor plants as well. Think of this like your all-purpose flour, that AP flour that you use for all of your baked goods. This is equivalent to that stuff. So for your plants. So the directions on the back say mix 1 tablespoon of fertilizer with 1 gallon of water. So the first thing you need to know is how big of a watering pail do you have? My watering pail is 144 ounces. It says right on the bottom. Most of them will. If not, you can just sort of guesstimate or figure out another way to determine how big of a watering pail you have. So 144 ounces is roughly 1 gallon. 1 gallon is 128 ounces, so close enough, whatever. If I want to do a heaping tablespoon of fertilizer, then oh boy, I think I might. And it's going to be roughly the same. It doesn't matter. So first thing you do is you get out your handy dandy 1 tablespoon measuring spoon. Now also don't forget, our fertilizer is non-toxic. So as soon as you get out your soapy water and you wash it away, you can go back to baking your sweet treats with that same tablespoon measuring spoon, and you don't have to worry that you're adding some fertilizer to your chocolate chip cookies. I don't think it would taste good. Anyways, so I have my slightly heaping tablespoon to make up for a little extra ounces in my watering pail. So take your tablespoon, plop it right in there, and then take something. I have a handy dandy wooden spoon. Mix it up till it's mostly mixed up. Now, if you're extra, efficient, you could also say lazy. I don't like to say lazy. I say efficient. What I do is I actually will put the tablespoon of fertilizer in the bottom when the watering pail is empty, and then I'll put it under the faucet, and then it kind of naturally mixes it up for me, so I don't have to use a wooden spoon. Anyways, now I have my fertilizer mixture all ready to go, ready for my outdoor plants. Today I'm gonna fertilize my hollyhock, my Queenie series hollyhock. So one of the rules of thumb when you're fertilizing your plants, oftentimes with a water-soluble fertilizer like our Roberta's Bounty, once a month is generally good enough. You don't want to over-fertilize your plants, because if you're over-fertilizing your plants, what's going to happen is the natural chemicals in the fertilizer will start to just kind of remain in the bottom of the pot, and what happens is that those chemicals will start to burn the roots if they're just kind of sitting there all the time, and that is going to do the opposite of what you want your fertilizer to do. We want our fertilizer to make our plants look healthier and lusher and more flowers and all the goodness. But if you just over fertilize it, it's like you're eating butter every night for a week, and how are you gonna feel after that? Not just butter, I mean a stick of butter every night for a week. You're gonna feel bloated, you're gonna feel at your worst. So that's what happens if you over fertilize your plants. The other thing is, if you're thinking about, maybe you just planted some oriental lily bulbs or some gladiolus bulbs, you always want to wait until your bulbs have started to produce some green growth out of the top of the soil before you fertilize them. That is so important, because if you don't, the bulb absorbs that fertilizer, but it has nowhere to send it. So what happens is another situation where it kind of burns out the inside of the bulb, and then it dies. I've accidentally done that before, and it sucks. All of your hard work, all of your planting and potting just down the drain. The other thing is, I also have my own personal rule of thumb. Every spring, every May, I'm out planting new plants in my pots. So When you plant a brand new pot, you take these 4-inch containers, you put it in a larger container, or you put it directly in the ground. Well, what's happening with those small plants? They're taking their sweet time to acclimate to their new surroundings. So you don't want to give them something else to think about, aka the fertilizer. You don't want to fertilize brand new plants right when you plant them in, because they have so many other stressors at that time. Let them kind of chill out for a little bit. So I always have the rule of thumb is, if I plant something, I'm going to wait 1 month, maybe 2 months before I fertilize it for the first time, because then I know the roots have had a chance to sort of situate themselves in their new container. They're finally feeling at ease, they're making friends with all of their fellow plants, and they're like, all right, now I'm feeling good, I've made my friends, time to let go, time to be at ease, give me some food so I can, fully energize up the situation. So I planted these hollyhocks back, I would say around June 1st, and this will be my second application of fertilizer. So the other question is, how much do I actually fertilize my plants? Well, when you water your plants, what do? The rule of thumb for container plants is you water your plants until you see water dripping out the bottom. That's what we want to see. You want to see that little drip, drip, drip. We all like that. It's all about the drip these days. Or if your plants are in the ground, you water it heavy, water it until you can sort of rest assured that all of the roots have absorbed water. Well, the same theory applies to when you're fertilizing your plants. So right now I'm going to go water my hollyhock, and I'm going to water that with this fertilizer water until I see water dripping out the bottom. That's how much fertilizer I want to give it. That's how much I want to water it. So it's really just as easy as that. So it's kind of loud out here. I live in an urban garden. There's always lawnmowers, buses, you name it. So hopefully not too loud. So I just go all the way around the entire pot. I want to make sure that all of the roots are going to receive some of that nice fertilizer. I don't want to just give some of the plant food. I want to give it all food. That's going to make sure that it grows evenly, that all of the different angles, all the different sides of the plants will be nourished, and then that is going to help produce the nicest plants, the healthiest plants with the luscious growth and the most flowers possible, which is all of the things that we want. So hopefully that answers all of your questions about how to fertilize your plants, when to fertilize, once a month, during the summer months, during the active growing season is a typically good rule of thumb. There are obviously exceptions to the rules. Certain roses only like to be fertilized at this point, or et cetera, et cetera. So anytime you have questions, please let me know. My name is Devin, aka your favorite urban gardener, aka Plant Vibes. Enjoy.